The Houston Astros All-Stars pose in Houston. David J. Phillip, Associated Press. When the starters take the field for baseball's 2018 All-Star Game on Tuesday night at Nationals Park, it will be difficult to argue with the fans' selections. Sure, there were some players with All-Star credentials who will be absent, but the voting bloc left little to quibble with. Among American League players, 7 starters voted in by fans rank in the top 10 for FanGraphs wins above replacement. All-in-one metrics like that won't encapsulate everything a player does, but WAR is a good barometer of talent. One of the outliers, Rays catcher Wilson Ramos, ranked first at his position for fWAR, and the other, White Sox first baseman Jose Abreu, ranked 7th among first basemen and 75th overall. Still, not a bad turnout when looked at through the lens of an advanced metric. The National League selections don't have as strong of a correlation. Only 3 of the top 10 players in fWAR were voted in, but that doesn't mean the public was out of touch with what the advanced metrics suggest. Bryce Harper's awful batting average doesn't mean he's an undeserving all-star. For example, Giants shortstop Brandon Crawford was voted in despite having the 3rd highest fWAR at the position. But the difference between his fWAR and that of the Rockies' Trevor Story at number 1, or the Nationals' Trea Turner at no. 2 is negligible. In addition, after adjusting for league and park effects, Crawford creates runs at a rate that is 21% higher than average, giving him the 2nd highest WRC plus 121 among NL shortstops. The reserves are mostly on the mark too. All of the NL reserve hitters rank in the top 25 in fWAR, while all but the Indians Michael Brantley and the Royals Salvador Perez rank in the top 35 in the AL, a decent rate considering each roster has 34 players. The pitchers selected by the players, 5 starters and 3 relievers for each team, were also on the mark. Of the 28 pitchers nominated, including injury replacements, almost 2/3, 18, rank in the top 25 for fWAR. There was some backlash over the initial snub of Rays ace Blake Snell, who ranks 2nd in the AL in ERA, 2.09, and wins 12, but his original omission could be excused. A low BABA .234 no doubt contributes to the former, and a higher than average run support per 9 innings, 5. fWAR inflates the latter, making Snell's performance look better than it is. If he had experienced league average results on balls in play and league average timing, his ERA would be 3.36, still good but just the 11th best fifth in the AL. Overall, there's little to suggest as far as fine-tuning the rosters so that they contain the most deserving players. The only starting position player I would have changed is going with Marlins catcher J. T. Realmuto, a reserve, over Cubs catcher Willson Contreras. I'd also replace Contreras on the roster with the Pirates' Francisco Cervelli. Other changes I would have made include the Blue Jays' Justin Smoke over Boston's Mitch Moreland, Boston's Andrew Benintendi over the Astros' George Springer, and the Cubs' Kyle Schwarber over the Brewers' Christian Yelich. National League catchers Team Pi ABG Ops WRC plus JT Realmuto Marlins 290.317. 919-149 Francisco Cervelli Pirates 231.247.849 132 Willson Contreras Cubs 332. 279.820 and thanks to Raymond Russell, community manager and game designer for PlayStation's MLB The Show 18, we got to see how much better, or worse, my roster changes made the All-Star teams. Russell used the video game to simulate the 2018 All-Star rosters as selected by the fans, managers, and players. Starting pitchers threw 2 innings, and starting position players played 5 before substitutions were made, and the results weren't close. The Al won 10-3 with a 5-run 4th inning. Then he swapped in my All-Star selections, and the Al won 14-2, this time with the Al breaking it open with 5 runs in the 2nd and 4 more in the 6th. As for how the results looked with Tuesday's rosters, here's a glimpse at how the show thinks the All-Star Game could go. The folks at Sony had to use Washington and Baltimore to represent the All-Star rosters, with Washington representing the AL and Baltimore the NL. Sony, read more from the post. Fancy stats, analytics killed the bunt. A new data-driven strategy could bring it back to life. 2018 MLB All-Star Game events and schedule. Everything you need to know at Futures Game. Carter Kieboom gives Nats fans a look ahead. 3 takeaways from the Futures Game at Nationals Park. Stars suit up for legends and celebrities. Softball game. Rain threatens All-Star Game. Streak of weather luck.